with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
Then that time I went and said goodbye. Now I'm back and not ashamed to cry. Ooh, baby, here I am, signed, sealed, delivered, I'm yours.
Welcome back. 10-11. A little bit of change on this last day of June. It's the 30th. Jared joins us from Alton Music Exchange as our spotlight on small business all summer long continues.
Hi, everybody. How y'all doing this morning?
Well, Jared, this is really cool. I've driven by and heard, so much about, what you guys do down there, but to have you in studio finally really exciting. And, 5 years ago, you started Alton Music Exchange. What started it? What was the idea that kind of got you going?
Well, I was doing music full time for a short time anyway, that whole previous year, and realizing pretty quick that it was a little more set in reality.
Yeah.
To have a store and use the skills to do that as opposed to doing music in bars and venues nonstop. So, wife and kids and dogs and white picket fence. It's hard to be gone all the time doing music stuff. So it was a little more set in reality.
Yeah. Well, and now take me through, the concept of Alton Music Exchange. What gave you that idea to say, this is what the community needs?
Well, I moved here. When we moved here? 6 years ago, we moved here.
Where are you from?
Grant City.
Oh, okay.
So south of here. We actually moved directly from Edwardsville right before. Mm-hmm. And I hear all these legends of Hopper's music back in the day. Did you grow up here?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. So maybe a little before your time, maybe a little bit before my time, there was this Hopper's music and all these legends grow up this thing. And you realize there was this pretty big gap. Alton Music does a fantastic job for certain things. I mean, they do a lot of great work.
Yeah.
There's this level of like kind of punk rock and roll aspect to it that was kind of missing. And it seems like the people were looking for. So we were kind of able to fill that gap.
Well, and now this is what I think so cool. I mean, whenever you're, number one, going through your guys' Facebook page or even walking into the store, I mean, you're hitting things that really are, for what maybe an individual that is trying to really get started or what a band. Hell, you never know when something goes out the last minute and you got to start it. You got to show the night before. You got to show that in 6 hours.
And things do change. When I started the place off, I really did think it was going to be, all these 14-year-old kids were going to come in. They were going to start punk rock bands, and then the gigging musician was going to come in and go, I need this cable. And though that does happen, it does not happen at the capacity in which you imagine, like anything.
Yeah.
When you envision something, what something's going to look like, when it gets there, go, does look different. So we do, like any business, have morphed with the times, have seen the market and changed. And the big thing we're pushing right now, and what our focus is the education of guitar tech skills and luthier skills.
Wow.
So we just did an expansion. So we're still doing buy, trade, sell, all the cool gear and stuff. We're all doing that. And it's been doing good for us for 5 years. But this year, this big expansion we're doing is where we have 6 workbenches, all the tooling you'll need, all the space you'll need, all the power tools you need to do all this guitar work. And I say guitar work, I mean, so you put your guitar bench on the bench, your guitar on the table, and from stringing to setup to cleaning to repairing to electronics inside and out. I mean, headstock repairs, all this fine repair stuff. We're going to be teaching that stuff. We're going to be actually doing courses where we show people how to do that to try to get this next generation to kind of go, because there's a couple big names in repair tech in Alton and the surrounding area. They're getting older and they do great work, but they're getting older. So we need to get the next generation of people in here to say, because it's a big industry. So there's a lot of need for people to come in and even doing it professionally.
Yeah.
Even if you're just doing it for your own enjoyment.
Right. Well, was there like a conversation you had or anything? Was it just a thought? What led to you guys kind of diving in on that?
Yeah, a lot of it was seeing the market change. It was people love playing music. They love, say, guitar, for instance, tons of instruments. Guitar is just one of them. And they'd come in and be like, oh, you got a gig this weekend? They'd be like, no, I just play at home. I'm like, oh, that's cool. I'm like, oh, you in a band? No, I just like playing. So these people, they love this instrument and it's therapeutic. It's grown beyond this quote unquote rock star thing. It probably was always more than that, right? I'm saying that's just the vision that some of us have when we're teenagers, right? So you see this music for what it is, guitar playing for what it is, and it's this therapeutic way of life. It's a medium to create. It's a medium to be social with other people. And for those people who are into that, they have to be able to maintain the instrument And some people just, you like using their hands. They like working on. They just enjoy working on guitars, or taking one that's beat up just like an old car. This is cool. It's got good bones to it. I can make it better.
Right.
You know, so that's the direction it's going. It's changing, and I'm not old and senile enough to know that you got to change with it, or the opportunity that we get to change with it. How cool is that?
Well, and the opportunity now you're providing, man. I mean, just to hear, because I'll be honest with you, I don't know too much about music like that. I host a talk show about a lot of different things, so I'm good at trivia. You know, I can at least get you the first couple of answers.
You're the guy that you want on the trivia team. You're the go-to guy.
Just don't let me start drinking before the round starts, you know. But I mean, it sounds cool to me though, because I mean, you're right. I don't know of a place where you can go and you know.
Now, most stores do have a tech at their shop where they will do it, or they'll send it out. Right. We want to have I was in trades for a long time as a machinist. My college education's in machining. You know, fine dimensions, tight tolerances, using your hands to remove material to achieve something. Yeah. And to be able to do that with guitars and now build our own shop to do that, I mean, it's awesome. It's a dream come true that I didn't realize was sitting in my head so strongly. Man, I mean, I could only just imagine though, you know, some of the folks that are learning about this or have learned about it the last couple of months that are taking that opportunity and really being able to learn for themselves. And also, like you said, whether or not it's become this, opportunity for them, you know, in a different way, or just to fix their own equipment, man, and being able to not worry about, who do I got to go drive 2 hours to take this to? Now, a lot of the other guitar techs, I'm sure will be like, man, this guy's giving away the information. Right. And like, this is how we make a living. Why are you teaching people how to do this? But I've always been teach a man to fish. Exactly. I mean, I've always been like that. Like, the knowledge is something that we should share. 100%. You know, now, they may pay for the access to the tooling and the space and this and that, because that's how we fund it, and that's how we continue going. You know, things do cost money. But when it comes down to it, like, you know, anybody who comes in the shop knows that if they ask a question, I'm happy to. I'll just bring in the shop. Now, we do have the benches for rent. So what you can do is for $10 an hour, you can rent the bench. With that bench, you get all the tooling you need. You get the space, the lighting, all the tools, electronic, all the hand tools, and then someone there on hand that knows how to do it that can help you. Right. And then outside of that, at the end of every month, we have a workshop. It's a 4-hour workshop where you actually come in and do a more extensive version of those classes. How much is the workshop? They're $100 for 4 hours. Are you serious? Yeah, that's where it's sitting right now. Well, I think it's so cool, man, because when you were telling me this, I was expecting like a $25 or $30 an hour rate. Yeah, well, so in Chicago, there's this great place called Chicago School of Luthier and Amp Design, I think is what it's called. And they do almost like college courses where it'll be 4 or 5 days, even sometimes 2 weeks, and it is quite expensive, but we're trying to keep costs low. And we're starting small. That's always been our mentality. We're a relatively small business, owner operated. We have to let it happen, be organic, and go from there. You know, as opposed to just like, you know, coming in hot and heavy. As much as we'd love to, like, there's this level of like, we have to let it happen organically. Yeah. You know, to be inundated, like even with customers. Say someone comes in the store and there's 12 customers that just come in. I'd be like, hey, this is way too many people. It works really good when some customers come in. I'm going to hang out with them. I'm going to talk to them. You know, just like if you were interviewing somebody. Right. If 5 people were interviewing 5 different things in here, you know, you'd be like, oh, this is too much. Like, it happens great when it's like this one-on-one personal experience, and we can accomplish what you want to accomplish and then move on to the next person. I like the fact, too, that you haven't gotten rid of what you were doing before. Yeah. You know, I think that's a really big component of this. It's changing. It's changing a little bit, like guitar amps, right? Guitar amps is the thing, surefire thing. I was like, kids love guitar amps. And they're changing. People like smaller amps, right? So we are kind of getting rid of a lot of anybody out there with amps and or some drum hardware type stuff. We are kind of moving away from that, so we will be liquidating some of that stuff. Good to know, just in case. It took a while to realize where it's like, okay, do what you do well, and stop trying to do everything a little bit. Now, for 5 years, we've kind of experimented on what would work. And then we're honing pretty well on what it is we do well, and we want to supply that service to people as best we can. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So more guitars, guitar accessories, that kinds of stuff, and then tooling for repair stuff. Well, and like I told you before, I'm not too familiar with tools and all that, but I can only imagine that it's gonna be a hell of a lot more expensive than $10 an hour. Yeah, I mean, when it comes, it's just like, I mean, it's like with this stuff, it's like going to Lowe's or Home Depot. I mean, there's so many tools. There's a tool for a job, right? And before the industry of this guitar tech luthier tools became manufactured. People would just make their own. They would take a file that was a file for whatever purpose, and they'd modify it to do a certain job on a guitar. Well, now there's companies out there, great companies, StewMac, Nomad Music, where they're specifically making this stuff, and we're going to carry those tools for the people who are into guitar tech stuff, and no one else is carrying that stuff right.
It makes sense. So it's like if you go to Home Depot and you buy the bad Allen wrench, you buy the bad,
cheap one, you can buy that,
and then you're pissed, and you got to go back and it's they in a DeWalt, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, there's tons of this stuff on Amazon where you can buy it and it will last. I mean, if it even lasts the job that you try to do.
Man, I'll tell you this, when we were when I was experimenting on, before RiverBender, and I was like, man, what mics do I get? Because I didn't know anything about this stuff.
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
I kind of went with what I knew from radio stations, and that's why I like Heil, because I know they're always going to work for me, good brand. But, I was getting lapels that were just from China that were junk, and you're like, you see them on Amazon, because it's like Amazon's choice,
It's the reason it's $19.99. Absolutely.
Hey, you got a moment to stick around real quick? Just because we're coming, I would like to take a break and keep going if that's okay.
No, fine,
I'm going to pay a quick bill, and we're going to come back with Alton Music Exchange. Man, I'm really enjoying this conversation. You stay there, we'll stay here. Oh, hey, while I have you, what are you doing today for lunch? Why don't you go to Carver's Barbecue? Carver's is really just the best option. 4th of July is coming down the pipeline here, Jared. And, I don't know if your kitchen's like this, but my parents during Christmas time, it's like World War II. You put the helmet on for 6 hours, you kind of just duck and weave, and then you come back and you all forget it and you go and eat some good dinner. We don't do that no more. You know why? Carver's caters. What are you doing to yourself? When you can have award-winning barbecue right in your house, from brisket, pulled pork, chicken, and ribs, I'm telling you, it's just to die for. Plus, their lunch menu is awesome, too. Stop by for lunch. Bring a $20 bill with you on top of what you were going to buy lunch with. You stick it into Heidi, the beer house machine, win $250 on the slots. That way you got lunch paid for. You're happy. Carver's is happy. Everybody's happy. But go ahead and look at those catering options at carversbbq.com, and don't forget to tell them that you know who sent you over their way.
When I got in the car accident at the ER, they gave me a prescription of hydrocodone, and over time, it took more medication to mask the pain. I moved over to drug seeking and found heroin and fentanyl. I went to the Centerstone rehab facility, and it was the best decision I ever made in my life. I have my own car, I have a job, there's nothing holding me back anymore.
Do you need to declutter your space? Time to call me, the Queen of Junk. Since 1993, we have grown to be the leader in residential, commercial, and property management junk removal. At Sparks Junk Removal, we are eco-friendly. We recycle, donate, or repurpose items back into our community. Trash is our last resort to the landfill. Plus, with our all-inclusive service, our crews handle everything from labor to lifting and landfill fees. Give us a call or visit our website, sparksjunkremoval.net, to reclaim your space today.
When you need a project done right, on budget and on time, trust Gillahan Concrete. Gillahan handles every kind of project, big and small. Commercial, industrial, residential, from room additions and garages to patios, driveways, and more. Gillahan brings quality and experience to every job. Family owned with over 30 years of service to our community. Call today at 618-781-3914 or visit GillahanConcrete.com.
Looking for the best barbecue in Madison County? Head over to Carver's Barbecue in Godfrey, Illinois. From loaded barbecue nachos to mouth-watering pulled pork, brisket, ribs, and more, Carver's serves up award-winning flavors you'll love. Family-owned, Carver's is all about fresh, made in-house dishes served daily. Come visit us at 2716 Groveland in Godfrey, or give us a call at 618-467-9999. Order online, get it catered, or stop by for the best smoked meats around. Where great flavors meet family tradition, you'll find Carver's Barbecue.
Have a rash, pink eye, or urinary tract infection and need care now? OSF On Call Urgent Care is here to treat you. Start a virtual visit 24/7, whenever and wherever you need it. It's just that easy. OSFOnCall.org/virtual visit.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
1025, welcome back to our daily show. Jared back in studio, and I was just telling Jared, I think it's so cool that, and really great for the public to hear, because I'm sure there's parents out there that have the teenagers that have the guitars and stuff, and they're like me. We don't know a damn thing about this stuff. But if you're making me understand in this 10 to 12 minutes, I mean, like you hit it on the break, man. It's really being a guitar mechanic. Yeah, I love that term because it really does bring everything back together. And you were saying that the age ranges on this are huge. Like, it's not just a 18 to 24. I mean, this is cool as hell.
Yeah, if you get to the point where you say you're getting into guitar, and say, we'll just say it's 13 to 15, you kind of get into guitar.
Yeah.
Well, automatically, there's some things you got to learn how to do. You got to put strings on. Intonation, which, if you come by the shop, we'll talk about some of these more in-depth things, because it does go deep. But we're just talking about just putting the strings on and just basic maintenance and cleaning. That's a necessity. I mean, that's something, if you want to take care of your guitar, I mean, you get your hands on it, you're gonna automatically spend more time with your instrument. Like, it's part of it. You put the strings on, you play it. When you tighten the strings up and tune them up, you're playing it. It's all hand in hand. So when you get into your early teens, all the way into, say, someone retired, and all of a sudden they have a lot more free time. They've always loved doing this. They've amassed like 20 guitars, and they're like, man, it takes a long time to change strings. I've got a little bench at home, but come down to the shop, we have an entire area set up for it. You can save a lot of money and get everything done. You get a discount on the strings when you come in. You get to use it. So there's a lot of benefits to come doing here at the shop. There's a lot of people who say, well, I've got all these tools at home, which is great. That's fantastic. Maybe there's another tool you don't have, and you can purchase that from us there at the shop.
Is this one of your work? I'm on your Facebook page just because I'm a little bit of a stalker during interviews. But is this the Workbench right up here?
Yeah, that's cool, man. That's one of the workshops we had. There's probably a couple on there. Each bench we have.
Here, go back to that.
Yeah, each bench we have has a lot of the tooling for basic setups and a lot of the fretwork. Fretwork being the little metal wire that lays on the fretboard, right? That's one of the biggest things about a guitar, the playability of the guitar. You can adjust those, and you can remove materials. You can smooth them out. There's all kinds of different things that will make a guitar go, man, this is a junky guitar, versus, oh, wow, this thing plays really nice. I mean, the fret and the neck is kind of the big thing. Man, so you're doing workshops once a month, you said. Yep. And now the workshops are $100, but they're 4 hours long. Yeah, and there's only room for 6. We have 6 benches, so it's not too crowded. Like that. It's not too crowded, yeah. So you can actually really ask some insightful and get some really good insights. Yeah, in 4 hours you can spend a lot of time working on a particular thing. The workshops right now are covering basic setups all the way to maintenance and fret care and fret repair. There'll be other additional classes that dive deeper into additional repairs. Well, and honestly too, what I think is really exciting, just around this area, man, the amount of young talent, whether it's, guys playing or girls playing, and I don't know, if it's this for cars, you always got maybe the folks that are like, oh man, that's like a guy thing to fix cars. But right. I mean, this is a multi-gender thing. Guys, this is cooler than guys hell. And girls. I don't know everybody over at Halpin real well, but I think is it Kelsey over there? Kelsey or Chelsea? The guitar tech over there. Yeah. I mean, she's renowned. She's very well known, and many people go to. She does a great job. So no, this is not just a guy thing. Boy club, for sure. Dude, I love this. It's collaboration and community in a different way. Like, this is really cool. It is, and it's that shop. I grew up in shops, and so like workshop, trade shops. So it's like you get a group of people working on something. Knowledge is being shared, whether they realize it or not. When you're sitting there and there's someone who's been doing something longer than you, and you learn from them. I mean, that's how you learn. I mean, it's how you get better. Well, and now what I think's unique too is just maybe hearing from you some of the folks that you've been able to talk to that have utilized this. What's the public's thoughts on just having this space? There's a level of just intimidation that people have learning this stuff. They take a guitar and they're going to literally take the metal frets out of the wooden fretboard, right? This alone, it's like surgery in a lot of ways for certain things, or like a mechanic's job for a car. It's very intimidating, especially like you said, Elvis is 75, Martin D28. Right. This is only a $5,000 guitar. Maybe I'll pay someone. Maybe I won't experiment on this guitar. So come down to the shop and take a broken guitar or a cheap guitar or something out of our scrap bin that has frets in the fretboard, and learn how to do that. Learn how to do the skill without damaging your guitar. Yeah. And then have someone around who knows how to do it to kind of guide you through how to the process.
Well, and honestly, man, I just from top to bottom, I just think it's really important to have this type of feature, especially because I keep telling people we're like in this weird in a good way renaissance and all. Like there's so much art, there's creativity,
absolutely.
there's music everywhere. So to provide these opportunities for folks that are starting or like you said, hobbyists, man. Like, I think that's what's so cool is you're giving folks that maybe have just retired or gone, man, I'm going to pick that guitar up for the first time in 10 years again that I've let sit on the shelf and I'm going to get back into it. And it's like a car. In a way, just from my understanding with you, is the more you work on it, the more respect and appreciation you have for your own equipment.
Absolutely, yeah.
And now going forward, what do you hope to expand on? You know, is there something that you're seeing these 6? Is there?
Yeah, I mean, we're booked out about 2 months as far as the workshops are
no
going.
kidding, man. Wow.
I'd like to get that out further and further because the further out that we get it, the more we can plan bigger things and make better expansions, increase all the tooling and have, and then eventually with the shop, I mean, we've been there 5 years. Eventually, we will grow the team. I mean, like where it's just more and more people involved. You realize that like I always get stuck between like the Mexican fisherman parable. It's like I'm doing what I like to do. Why change it versus like, well, if you want something to grow and accomplish something, sometimes you need a bigger team. So
well, and take me just because I'm always fascinated by this, and we'll dive back into all the other great stuff you're working on. You know, what's your family's thoughts on this? I mean, is it good and going great for you guys to have? Because you said you were playing gigs, and I know how stressful that's got to get.
I mean, I'm at about 70 to 90 dates a year with different bands between Spilling Nelson, Hideous Gentleman, a band called Don't Get Dead that I'm in. So I do a lot of music, and it is difficult for me because my brain always wants to create music and make music for people, and I love doing that, and I'm blessed to be able to get to do that as much as I do because I love it. Versus this other set of reality where I realize that my skill sets and my knowledge and my experiences has this potential to offer this service to this city and this area where I go, well, that's just as important, you know. Like so, these two things that I'm constantly balancing that I struggle to balance, but well,
man, I'm sure
it's a full time gig. For sure.
And what I think is just a good public note for that too. I mean, this isn't, you know, I hate to say, it, but I'm sure there's folks just like any business. They think, oh, this is a hell of a business model, and they decide to do it without truly living it. Because this is an industry you have to live to truly understand and really stay current in. And I think that's great for the public to know. Like when you're walking in, you aren't talking to Johnny Mac's general manager that's never played a sport in his life. I mean, you're talking to someone that lives this.
I really hope I get to shed the opportunity to shed some light of the realities of professional musicianship and just being in the music industry.
Yeah.
And granted, how different it looks from, like I said, the 14-year-old Jared who was like, oh, this is what it looks like. It does look very different. But it looks exactly the way it needs to look to accomplish the goals that are trying to be accomplished, And there's so much in Alton. I mean, there's so many people doing music in Alton. I mean, MRF just happened. Rock the Hops is coming up. I mean, all these wonderful things. And you realize there's all these music lovers and all the music lovers that love music for these slightly different ways. And there's these different roles within that, It's becoming palpable. Is that the word? Palpable? In Alton, like this summer. It's just like you can just kind of feel the thickness in the air, literally. Just because it's hot. Maybe that's just because it's summer. I don't know.
Man, I just love this. And, we've been talking here for about 30 minutes now. And what would you like to kind of wrap up with the most? What's the focus here?
Yeah. So we'll just keep it simple with we're open Tuesday to Saturday, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Wow.
Come down to see us. We could talk about it more if it's something you're interested in. We'll definitely get you on a spot and want the upcoming workshops, or if you just want to rent a bench and learn a little bit more about it, come on in and visit us. My name's Jared Unfried. I'm there all the time, all the time, and trying to even on my days off. So typically, anybody knows if you see my black van out front, or if you see me walking in, just come up and knock and come on in and talk to me. I'm pretty open, and I can't wait to meet everybody because there's always still people coming in after 5 years.
I'm sure.
I didn't know you were here. Half of that's by design, but then there's another part that does surprise me. It's like, man, we've been here 5 years, and there's still people. I didn't know you were here. And I was like, so that's pretty great, just to show how many people are actually in this area now.
Well, and how you're continuing to grow too. I mean, that's what it's really cool, and I love the corridor you're in because you're next to Conservatory and RiverBender Records. It's like this cool music road type of thing.
It's like rock and roll.
Yeah, right there. It's really cool. Well, I got to ask you before I let you go, and I'm nosy. What's this? I mean, this is a pretty beautiful work of art right here.
Which one is that? That's a Guild Starfire, 2008, made in Korea. That one. That's a really great guitar. Guild came back out years after they went defunct. I think Fender bought them, and, and they started making these classic-looking guitars that they made back in the 60s and 70s. And a lot of people, with the conversation of Asian manufacturing is a whole different conversation.
Yeah.
But man, they're nice guitars, and they're not crazy expensive. They're
well, that's good.
very nice, yeah.
Man. And so like, and that's one thing too. I love the fact that you're keeping, the sales going too and everything.
Yeah,
and you
absolutely,
might be restructuring a little bit, but that's still staying with the workshops.
Yeah, I think it falls into every music shop kind of finding its own niche.
Yeah.
Some do musical education where they're going to have lessons and stuff. Some are doing band rentals and stuff like that. This is just us finding our own niche. This is what we're doing, and it works great because we're not stepping on anybody else's toes in the area. No one else is doing this, and then hopefully no one else is. But that being said, I've actually talked to Mojo's in Edwardsville, Tom Pullman, who's
a great guy,
all great guy. We're thinking about doing some collab together. So how cool is that? Because he always tells me, he's like, man, one rise, we all rise. So it's like he's like, let's collab together. The idea of competition between I don't have that mentality. To me, we all rise together. Let's do it together.
Be the tide.
I get that there are people in the business longer who maybe, further into it, they may be a little bit more thinking that way. But
well, and I always think that's such a fascinating thing. Because, if we're in, not even St. Louis anymore because the population drops so much. But if you're in New York or whatever, I can see being I'm going to be this big. But when you're in a smaller community, a smaller region, man, teamwork and collaboration are how everyone succeeds.
Yeah.
It's not by being the big dog and having everyone working for you. That just, for stuff, I really just don't see it that way.
It may work for some, and it
just
may,
an unhappy life.
Yeah, I don't think in things of those terms. I think of how can we help each other, how can we benefit one another, and how can we spread music? Because let's not forget that. Let's not forget that the music is the purpose of this. I don't do this every day to make $1, or $100 or $1,000. That's a byproduct. You got to pay your bills, right? But let's just spread the music. There's tons of music around here. I think this area in general is just inundated with fantastic art, almost to the point where the people here live here are so close to it, they don't even realize that there's this insane amount of art in this area and skill set and skillful musicians. Well,
before I let you go, how good was the MRF? Did you go?
I was out of town.
I
was at gigs.
I saw you share it. And I'm like, maybe
this is what happens. Every chance, every awesome thing. No, I'm always working, so I'm always out of town. We were in Edwardsville Friday night, and
how'd it go?
Collinsville Saturday night. So it was great shows. It was fantastic shows. I love it. But that's why typically we do a lot of the festivals in the summertime, and that's cool because you get to actually hang out and see the other bands. But in general, we're always busy. Yeah, makes for long days.
Dude, I bet. Yeah. Hey, thanks for stopping by. This has really been a great conversation, and we'll link everything on RiverBender.com for an article for all of you guys to summarize and get on down to the Alton Music Exchange. That's right next to Conservatory, Riverbend Records. It's 556 East Broadway, and the workshops once a month. Are they on a set day or?
Yeah, Saturdays.
Yep, you got to book the third month out though, because we're pretty full.
Yep.
And stop by to see the great equipment and all the great products there too. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back. Mary Cordes should be joining us in a couple of moments. You stay there, and I'll stay here on RiverBender.com and Roku TV.